Hi, everyone. If you're here, let me get this adjusted. It always looks a little bit different once you get on. Hi, you guys. It is Jewelry Talk. This is the other side of jewelry. Actually looking at jewelry holistically and expansively and, everything else. Like, we're all builders of jewelry, but it's all about the whole other side of jewelry making and then some. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Oh my gosh, I missed everyone so much. Hi. You know what, you guys? Hi, Paula and Cheryl. Oh my gosh. So nice to see you guys. I actually decided to come back to doing Jewelry Talk. Christina's here. I'm going to do Jewelry Talk twice a month just because, oh my gosh, I feel like I miss our community. I miss our group. I just miss all of this connecting. It's been, hi Sherry, oh my gosh, Joanna, oh my gosh, Eve, so nice to see you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you guys for coming today. I'm so grateful to see you guys. Wearing all my jewelry in the real shape, real shape and form here today as I've been working. The good thing about this month for me was that since I got back from Mexico in like December 11th, besides Christmas, I've had a really nice introspective time to put together another program, to be here in my studio, build some really cool new stuff. I've been, when you're talking for a long time, like, hey, this is where I want to go, it's like, it was just really exciting for me to put together these kind of, I've been doing such polished work, but just to put together some chain that's hammered and unusual and things put together. So, I've been working on these type of pieces for my group Unfolding, which is coming up. It starts March 1st again for the new program, and it's holistically all about the other side. The way I operate as a jewelry artist for years and years and years of being in jewelry, of building all different kind of commercial lines and personal lines and doing museum exhibits and working with stores like Banana Republic and Henry Bendel and, and then also working with Michaels on a commercial line. So it's kind of all about this, but this is kind of what we all have in mind for like a collection of small boxes for next month. But anyway, for Jewelry Talk today, I'm so glad to see you guys. I'm wearing some of my stuff that, I've been able to be in my studio building. I've been so excited about these rings that are just nice and tall. The ridiculous rings again, You know what I mean? It's like we get used to building the practicality, and I'm finding my shapes and colors again, renewal. So it's all about I just spent like a month of letting go, establishing myself, finding my firm ground again, and I'm happy to be here. And I want to thank you, you guys too. I've been seeing a lot of the work that's on intentional metalsmithing. Oh my gosh, it's so interesting. Remember, this statement is that we're the only ones who are inside of ourselves, and our stuff is so normal to us because it's us. When you're really doing your authentic work, you're actually just doing a piece of yourself. So to me, my stuff, I get excited about, of course, at first, and then it's like it just feels so normal because it's normal O Susan and normal O you. It's normal all of us. So we always love each other's work, and it's like I just want to be here to a flat or pointed. Like these actually have on the other side of it, they actually have a nice flat top. This one is built with wire. It's like the, on the surface expanded a little bit there. So that's kind of what and then, always the granulation that was, when I went into Morocco in that whole like year or two when I was studying on the surface and all these different ways to do things, it's really exciting. And I'm just kind of expanding on it, which also is kind of what Unfolding. So Unfolding, here, I'll just talk to you guys about it now just because I have a lot of stuff to say. I haven't seen you guys in a while. This is actually the journal. It's so pretty. I know it's backwards to you guys. I'm sending the journal out. It's for Unfolding. It's really, I'm meeting with people today. We're kind of wrapping up just this, not such an exciting time, but you always have to start with letting go and like releasing before you can start new, right, guys? So it's always that harmony. Oh my gosh, let me see. pause. Okay, somebody, good. So it's always like letting go first, which is never the most fun part. For me, it's like I've spent on and off letting go. And it's like, I like when the new stuff comes in, but you have to get that old stuff out first. Like cleaning out your closets, cleaning up your tools. It's like, oh my gosh, when, how we're collectors of all these tools and all this stuff, when you really have to sit down and oil up your tools and clean them, you wish that maybe you had a simpler lifestyle, right, guys? I know. I'm super excited. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, because I do want to show you guys some technical kind of stuff. Hi, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so grateful to see all you guys. Jewelry Talk here, and it's all about the expansive side of things. We want to remember, when we're going through the year and we're building for shows are opening up. Oh my gosh, I hear so many people. And here at the Screw Factory, our show just exploded. I wasn't here for it because I was in Mexico, but we'll see. Shows are exploding. Use your time now. We're getting ready to open back up again. Use your time to get straight. Oh, thank you. This is new. This one will be for sale too. I have a couple of them. I like all my hinges. And what I especially like is, I'm bringing this link. I'll show you guys a close-up of the link. So I have a sale coming up this Saturday. If anyone is interested, you guys have your own sales too. So, I'm not saying, but it's like, just from going in and when you build something new, like what really excited me on this chain, look at this teeny tiny piece right here. If you guys get a chance to see my collection, because for me, it's like, oh my gosh, I love looking at collections of where people are at and where they're rolling into. You're going to see that with my collections, I am starting to move tinier. What? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, more fragile, tinier. You're going to see these are tinier. I have tinier pieces and parts. Still my large ones, different combinations. It's like, oh my gosh, I was so tempted to call, all of these. It's like, when I put up a reel, it was just about all these candy colored gems, that I'm just back to. Remember I did on the surface and taught that course where it was about decorating your piece without using gems. And I think when you deprive yourself for a little bit, you get like, oh, let me back. Yes, jewelry sale is 2 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. And, if you want to just come in, I have a royal collection. I did do a lot of work because I started way back in October and went into, but yeah, it's like, when this is one of the chapters, but it's expanded. Now, a lot of people have went through intentional metalsmithing, and in unfolding, I'm talking about how do we expand it? How do we get different attachments? How do we solve problems? How do I get this piece attached to my link? You know what I mean? And it's like solving problems. Like you guys know these links, solving problems, small, large. How do I expand it a little bit so it's comfortable and not going to get caught in my hair on the shoulders? Those are all kind of things. I don't want things getting caught in my hair. So it's like, I like just doing a little bit of length there and then it moves back in. So it's always talking about those inhales and exhales in your work. You know what I mean? Inhales and exhales. And then I even did some small ones because I just had so much fun. To Christina, it's all these big gems that are in there that are super fun. And it's like, I wanted to call them bubblegum rings because I sat in my studio and I just kind of boom, 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 set up like 10 vignettes at a time. And it was really fun. Okay, let me see the question. Oh, I have your connections book. Thank you. Oh, you guys, the new one. Oh, thank you guys so much for your support. The twisted wire with the nail head. Guess what, you guys? As Christina said, we finished the book. It is so beautiful. Intentional metalsmithing is so beautiful. Christina is sending out an email this afternoon, and it will have previews of the jewelry. But also, we have an ebook for everybody who it was promised to in Intentional Metalsmithing. It's actually an Apple ebook. It's just an app you download if you want it. You know, instead of a PDF file, we have it together where you can just read it as a book. And I'm telling you, it is gorgeous. And everyone who contributed to it, you're going to see your jewelry in there. And we're so grateful because it added so much to the book. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's finally complete. It's like we couldn't move on before we did this, you know? So we were kind of right at the tail end, and then Christine and I kind of really brainstormed unfolding. So I'm super excited about the next month. This month has been an unfolding. You know, we've been just, you know, undoing, because you always have to undo. You want to keep that chapter of undoing. It's like it's 4 or 5 years later for me, and I always weave in and out of undoing to like the new word. So unfolding is really about being in your own talisman, really being in a word. We all focus on a word. I put energy, beautiful energy into this group. This is my new love. So I'm excited about it. But I do want to show you guys some things today. Okay, let's see. Yes, the new book is cool. And now I just found the place where I printed Making Connections. So we will be getting probably hard copies, you know, if anyone wants to exchange or purchase a hard copy instead of, you know, also on top of it. No, you know what? I'm not doing films in there. You guys are going to see, hi Freya, nice to see you. You're going to see Unfolding is a monthly membership, and we'll be opening it up. And I'm meeting with people today, and it's not going to be very expensive at all. So you guys will see. It's kind of just, I talk in there, I give assignments, I give meditations. I kind of really show the background of how I do my jewelry, how I use energy to vibe my jewelry, how I use my own energy for undoing and getting into who I am, how I stretch out when I get into my bench and want to do my own work. You know, it's like showing people how to be really authentically into yourself. So it steps beyond intentional metalsmithing, but it's more about, it's your turn now. You're not going to be force-fed things. You're exploring. It's a creativity. It's exploring your creativity. It is being a jeweler, but being pushed into really getting more onto your right side of your brain, your creativity, and getting into ideas and functioning and things like that. So I'm super excited about it. Yay! Oh my gosh. Well, today, yes, I'm so glad you joined. I am here this afternoon meeting with everyone. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, thank you guys so much. And really, the first month is just the preliminaries. I'm super, super excited about what's to come. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is, bye Joanna, okay, no worries, yes. Okay, is kind of these, you know, one of the things that I love with these rings that I'm doing, like look, I'm doing these little rings like these. Now, you could look like this, right? Which is a pretty cool look, but you guys saw what my hand looked like a minute ago. Now, this one is a really nice solid piece. Look, it fills your hand up, right? So I want to talk to you guys about these things. One, these, you know, you can see there's a couple different parts here to this one. This is just a little found object. This one is actually forged together. It's fused together. And, you know, it's all sterling silver. It's one of the things that I did with some of my scraps. You know, there's a whole chapter of scraps. We started unfolding with scraps. So I want to show you this one today. But first of all, I want to talk about these little tiny pieces. I've got a little handful here that I will have on my website that goes with the rings. But you guys know you can make them too. You know, if you want to come on and buy a couple of these to go with you, you can, but you also know how easy we know how easy they are to make, right? In the wire chapter. So the thing I love about these little rings here is that you can size them to size. If I have a ring that's adjustable or even not adjustable, you actually can just stack these on. And as long as this one is a size 7.5 for me and is a little bit hard to get on, my ring is secure. It's not going to come off. You know, it's not going to go flying across the room. And this one too. This one secures this tall ring into space. So you want things to fit You want things to, oh yes, so you want things to fit. You know, it makes a big difference. I could stack this all the way up here, and as long as I make sure that the last ring is absolutely ready to fit what I'm doing. Now, this actually is in intentional metalsmithing. It's in, the twisted wire. I showed the twisted wire. I love now when I walk into my studio, I love when I'm prepared with big lengths of this. This is an 18 gauge here. This is a 16 gauge. These are nice for these little earrings, these little stackers, you could put a gem on there if you want. But these are really, really nice just to kind of add a little depth to your rings and not, make such a complex statement, right? How do I do the tall rings from flopping around sideways? Well, here's the thing. This is like a really kind of a cool statement. This super tall ring right here is adjustable. One of the many reasons that I love adjustable rings, because for these tall rings, you literally need to have them fitting so tight. Now I've adjusted it too big because it was perfect. But, you really need to have these tall rings very, very tight on your fingers. The reason I love the adjustables is that, see, it's not moving at all, no matter what I do. I mean, maybe if no, it still didn't move, look, because I've got it tight. Now, I also love the adjustable because it's winter time here. My fingers are smaller, even though they don't look like it. They're all like, I've been working hard in my studio, guys. But, in the summertime, my fingers swell from the heat when I'm outside. I love the adjustables because you always really want these tall, big rings to be firm on your fingers so you feel secure. Otherwise, they're just distracting you all day. They're distracting you. It's hard to eat with them. It's all of that. So that's one of the reasons. No, it's not a pre-made setting. I do all my own settings. So absolutely not. Can you guys see? This is actually like a takeoff of, and you know why you can see? It's like, I love the little mistakes in there. Nothing is ever going to be perfect because that lets people know that it is handmade. One of the last handmade shows that I went to, which is SOFA in Chicago, SOFA. I used to participate in that. It was really fun way back. But, one of the things in class and in jewelry and in all of this, I dream yes, I do dream. In all of this, you're going to see people now look for mistakes because we all can get this perfect work done. I dream my jewelry, sometimes inside of my design. Oh, yes. You know what? A lot of times. So I do dream my jewelry. I dream concepts. I just trust. It's like, look, when I went to Morocco, I knew. Oh, thank you. I knew when I went to Morocco, I just kind of close down in a way. I don't go, oh my gosh, let me go look at ideas. I can't wait to see ideas. Let me get in my left brain and I'm going to go here and I'm going to write this and I'm going to write that. For me, it's like part of the dream is, showing up for an event, going to a museum, and not being like, I've got to get over to see all this and this and this. Sometimes you're like that and you really put it in a left brain. But then there's times to go in and absorb, really just absorb. And that's what I did in Morocco. And I knew I could feel it. I could dream it. And, sometimes your jewelry work is not just a dream of little jewelry. It's a dream of architect. It's like when I wrote the book, Making Connections, I dreamed that whole book, but I walked around for a year in the world and looked at architecture, looked at buildings, looked at, like when I went to Morocco, I looked at buildings and shape and form. Literally everything I saw in architecture, I was like, oh my God, I'd love to bring that down into a box form. Wouldn't that be incredible? You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you bring these ideas you see, gargoyles and, just all these different things like this down into your work? So it really is looking at work as an artist, not just as a jeweler. And that's what unfolding's all about, really. Do I ever have to nail my adjustable band after a lot of use? Not really. I've never really had to, because you know why? Your pieces will get annealed by being in the sun, by friction, rubbing together, even though it's not bringing it up to like a a red glow, you're still, anytime you're heating your piece, you're getting the molecules to move around a little. So if you think about metal as these molecules, you really are not, you're not annealing it all the whole process, but you're really annealing it to a softer state, if that makes sense. Please show us the back of the box form ring. Oh, sure. Voila. There's my name. Here's the number. It's actually going to be for sale. I do these super heavy bands on my rings, super sturdy. They're thick. You don't want to stick a little skinny one on there. I actually decided as I'm doing, and here's my name. People were asking about your, putting your stamp on there. When this is all from sheet metal now, which is different from, some of the other ways that I've done things. But I decided to put holes in the boxes under here because when you're working, it's trickier. When you're working with bigger forms and shapes, when you're doing all this soldering, like I went into this piece and soldered maybe 8 times, different solders, and you don't want your pickle, getting into position and having your pickle come out of these holes all over your piece when you're trying to solder it. It's not going to happen. So the only time I had a little problem was when I was soldering the back parts on, because I actually have my holes in the back. So make sense? That's the back. And here is the back of this one. This one has a number on it too. So I kind of like to just do a little random, mine are more like what I saw, the shapes in India, almost like a lotus flower, half of a mandala, that type of thing, Show the gorgeous cross. Okay, I had to take that one off. Here is the cross. This one is actually on the surface also, and it has a nice little hinge on it. I have 2 of these on my site. One of them, this one is a handmade chain, so it's expensive, and I have another one with the hinge on it. This is on the surface. See how it's being used? And I have another one that is just a simple chain, because there's some people, you always want to make sure that you give different prices for people. There's a higher price point because the handmade, this took me hours and hours. And then I have another one with the simple chain because there's some people that's like, I'm going to go back and make this, but dang, I sure would love to have a cross like that. The other one, also the other one could be super long. You guys know a way, if you want this super long, like I always imagine it right here. I always imagine a long piece right here. You just would put an extension on your, you just put a little small chain extension on here. The other one is actually made to be longer, but you could also make it shorter too. So this is better in a picture. You can see it, right? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lulu. So I want to show you guys real quick. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you. I'm going to be back again in 2 weeks too. But I do meet on Intentional Metalsmithing where all the questions, I'm just so excited about our community that's been around for a while. So I'm going to show you guys this piece right here where I just kind of laid out some pieces and I'm doing some fusing. I do 18 gauge on my cross. Sometimes I do 24. Lately, it's like this one doesn't have very many layers on it. So if I'm doing 2 layers on here, I'll start with the 24. If I'm just doing 1 layer, I'll do an 18 when it's this big. A lot of times I work with 24 because it just can be heavy. This one's pretty light. I did 14 gauge chain, which, it's a change for me. I always like to switch things up. In the past, I would have done a 10 or a 12, but it's just kind of really fun seeing what you could do with a different material that you're not necessarily used to. Thank you so much. I know. Thank you so much. Cece. You are going to love how beautiful you look in the book. Cece was in the master's class. So in there, we have other people who graduated, whoever wanted to put their pieces in from IM. And then we have the master's class, so it was really fun, really, really fun. So we already actually have places. I think, we kind of have a loose commitment for Rio Grande for the book. So anyone who contributed, we have a loose commitment for, he's like, as soon as you're done, let us check it out. So it'll be fun. It really is beautiful. But I'm going to show you guys this technique. So pretty. You guys will see Cece's jewelry in there. We all, the nice thing in our master's class is we all gave words to each other and their work. Sometimes when you're doing your own work, you have trouble thinking about what words define you. So in our master's class, we took a look at each person's work, and all of us collectively came up with like 2 or 3 different words that we named for their project. So that was pretty cool. And Cece's was just like beautiful, everything about her. So that was pretty cool. Okay, you guys, let me show you what I have here. You guys can see that just for a little bit of fun at the end of the day. And I'm just going to show, I'm going to get my glasses on because this is the time. I like to look nice, but once I'm doing my jewelry work, I have to have my glasses on. Okay, I'm just going to use this torch, get on here, but turn it all the way up. And let me get a little bit, I did pickle it, I rinsed it. You guys can see wait, where's my spritzer at? Well, what happened to my spritzer? Okay, I'll just show you guys from here. I'm going to dip this completely in the flux. This one actually was a ring I was putting together a little bit before. Here's some extra pieces that go on here. See these little pieces here? I'm just kind of going to, it's so random. You don't know what's going to happen with your pieces, but look at all these little scrap pieces that maybe you always wanted to have around and you weren't able to, right? Okay, let's get it in, get it nice and hot. We're just gonna get this all super fused. Oh, you know what I probably should have put, you want to get from under too. Oh my gosh, the last time I did this one. So I'm really trying to just get this fused together and melt it a little. So I'm using my pick. See that? You can't do anything wrong with this. See how that one's kind of... It's just really getting in with your technique and getting everything red hot and seeing how things end up merging together. And you can merge them and really kind of distort them, get it nice and tight. So I just have it into like a bright red, get things... Oh, there we go. Look at the nice little nodules on the side, and I'm just kind of mirroring them in too. So don't worry, you can't do anything wrong like this. It's pretty cool to see. You can really get some beautiful, beautiful pieces this way. There we go. Woo! See that? You can't do anything wrong. I just want to let it cool, but I'm really liking this. Let me get this over and get it quenched. Ooh, I'm loving it. See that? And I'll lay this one next to it. This one is pretty cool. So really, you know, here's the finished piece. This one actually isn't even soldered beyond that, but you can really see, you know, where a lot of this is done. Now, this side is going to be nice and smooth. Really, the first thing I'm going to want to do, you know, is decide which side I like better. I might like a little bit of screen on here, or I might like this side. I really would pickle it and get it brushed and get it shaped. But if one of the tools that I'll use to get my shape, of course, is either a tool like this. This is going to be the one that lays in front of your piece that gives you the size you need. Or this, actually, I started cleaning this up a little bit, is your jewelry. One of the things that I love about my ring mandrel is that when I sand this off and polish it and oil it, these letters or my numbers and lines and dashes are depressed. They're etched into this steel. So even when I sand it, as long as I can rub some dirt or a patina or color back in here, it's going to make it, nice and dark again. So this will help me to, once I get my ring shaped, it's nice and annealed like we know about, I'll just go ahead and get started and, very carefully, I'm bringing this around. If you guys don't have the arm strength, remember I talk about, if you don't have the arm strength, you just work up against a table. This, you don't even have to have, okay, now. I'm gonna do it in front of you guys, but usually I do it over here by my anvil, but I'm not moving far. Here's how you get your shape. Here's how you get your size. Now I might anneal, this is gonna be a number of times where I'm going back in and shaping and shaping and shaping. This one is way too big, but it's gonna be pretty dang cool once I get it ready, right? That makes sense? See, I told you I have my glasses on. That's how I look in my studio. All right, you guys. So, it's still really, there's a lot more shaping that I have to do. The way that I get in here and shape, just in case anyone is going to ask a question later, for these sizes, is I go in and literally pull pieces around like this, It just makes it easier. I bring them to a smaller size. So then when I get on my ring mandrel, I can expand it out again. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's fun. It's, it's like for me, when I have all these beautiful, big candy colored gems going on, I just, love, I want to get back to my rawness again. I miss that rawness in me. You guys know this one, bezel's expanded. It's just a bezel laid on top of here. So, okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on Jewelry Talk. I'm going to be back here in 2 weeks. I have my group Intentional Metalsmithing that'll be on here. We meet on Zoom. So I will see some of these people later. And I want to hear, the unfolding group is a lot about all of us. It's not just me talking. It's an open-ended, and it really is a community where we all can share our experiences and share. Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Okay, Christine is sending the sale a sneak peek email right now, so you guys can get a sneak peek of the email and it starts at 2 p.m. Pacific on Saturday. I have some really cool collections in there. I'm getting closer and closer to this beautiful and all this other stuff. And if anyone wants to think about unfolding the next steps, that one's open, and maybe everyone is in there. We don't know. So the journal is coming out. The book is coming out to you guys in a form. It feels so good to be wrapping up so many things. Doesn't that feel amazing? And that's why it's like in my studio, I've had this open time. So thank you guys so much. I've loved having you guys here. Mwah.